How can I go into tomorrow smarter, better equipped? What do I need to learn? What do I need to conquer? The struggle is never over. So to me, you got to continue to evolve, continue to grow, continue to grind.
The slogan on my coin right here says choose to conquer. You use both of those words. You talked about choice, and you just said, what can you conquer? That is a lifestyle choice. That if you're in a first world country, being a millionaire is a lifestyle choice.
And look at this, Derek. You and I didn't even know each other. I knew who you were. You probably had some glimpse of who I was.
Everybody knows Randy Jackson.
I don't know about that. Well, we're sitting down today and like, yo, we got that brotherhood.
Today I get the pleasure and privilege of chatting with Mr. Randy Jackson. And a lot of you know Randy from American Idol. You're the longest American Idol judge. I want to say coach, but judge.
Yeah, 14 seasons.
14 seasons. And your new show, you're about to go into the second season of.
Second season of Name That Tune on Fox will come on in March. It's great. I mean, we're having a good time. We shot the first season during the pandemic in Australia and Sydney, shooting the second season in Dublin, Ireland. So we're seeing the world through the pandemic. But it's good. It's fun. We're having a good time.
I looked into your Wikipedia to see the details. What all has this man been involved in over the years? And you somehow were involved with so many big acts and bands, and the music industry just is. Even Divinals I saw on there, and nobody even knows that song anymore, but I know that song.
Right. I touched myself by the Divinals. Yeah. We, I've been very blessed and very fortunate. Little kid from Louisiana. The dirty, 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 lovable South, in the hood, making it good out in this world. So I've been very blessed and very fortunate. I mean, look, I love music. I love entertainment. I love what I do. So, I'm still a student of the game no matter how long you're in it. You keep your eyes open as you do. You want to learn and grow. And I was saying something to you earlier at lunch about, you try and get better every year. You say get better every day. I go, amen. Yo, Derek, exactly. Get better every day.
Yeah, I try to learn about 3 things a day. I mean, that's like a stated goal of mine. I had this little thought experiment I've been doing for a little over 20 years, about half my life now. And every day before I go to sleep at night, if I had 3 vodka drinks, I'm still going to have this. No matter what else has happened in my life, if I was sick, whatever else happened in my life, I still have this little disciplined regime. And I think about what are the 3 biggest things? What were the 3 wins today? What did I learn? What did I do? What did I accomplish today? And I think about what are the 3 biggest opportunities tomorrow? And I always answer that question before I go to bed. I think they help me a lot. And I'm not one of these woo-woo type people. I'm very practical. I want to deal with reality. I think you get the best outcomes when you deal with reality.
Amen, brother. Reality.
But that helped me a lot. I always think those 3 topics. I always think, what's my best financial opportunity tomorrow? That not for short-term money, but what could I do that's going to ensure real financial abundance for my lifetime? What could I do tomorrow to help that be true? And what could I do for a relationship? What's the most important relationship that I could impact? That a friend, a business person, my girlfriend, whatever's on my mind. What's the biggest opportunity tomorrow, in that way? And then the third one is just whatever seems important that day. A lot of times you wake up. I check in with myself the next morning, and a lot of times you wake up and for very little effort, you kind of solve some problems overnight. You find a better path. I feel like I know what I'm supposed to do today. All right, am I still supposed to do this? Is there a better something? That's the thing. Well, get the hell up and get it done then.
I love the fact that you talk about practicality, because in reality, it's funny, I've been on a lot of reality shows, America's Best Dance Crew, Idol, all these shows, and now Name That Tune's it's a game show, but it's a fun game show. But I have a pretty big management business. I manage chefs, artists, writers, producers. But what I say to people all the time, a big part of the entertainment business is perception. It's not how good it is, it's how good your publicists or the digital marketing team make you think it is. So I say, listen, I don't want to manage who you think you are. I don't want to manage who you want to be. If I can't readily see who you are and know how to sell that, because that's your brand, I'm out. Because I don't have time to fish around to find out who you are. And it cuts to one of my favorite phrases in life. It's the Mission Impossible phrase. This is your mission. Should you choose, underline choose 1 billion times, to accept it, underline that 18 trillion times. have you chosen to accept who you are? One of my banes of existence in life right now, I don't think most people take the time, or they're too busy running away from who they are, and they get glimpses of it and go, no, I don't want to be that. I think I'm this over here. Who the hell are you? Can we start there and deal with the reality? Let's let the fantasy go. I think a lot of people live in fantasy, don't you think, Derek?
I totally agree with all of that. And I think you can't be great at everything. There's
No.
part of that fantasy for a lot of people is they want everybody to like them. I don't want everybody to like me.
Right.
No,
Everybody's not going to like us.
No, not everybody's supposed to be my friend.
Yeah.
Not everybody's supposed to be my client. Not everybody we wouldn't have the right fitment together.
Right.
And I try. This is almost controversial today, but I just try to be pretty forward and sincere, honest, blunt about
What a concept, honesty.
who I am and what I'm up to. And I think other people, when they come across that, the right people stick around. That if we're a good match together, it's going to be very natural. It's going to be very organic. There's going to be no frictions. Very easy relationship going forward.
Right.
And if somebody's not the right type of person, it'd be better for both of us if we knew that in 30 seconds than 30 days.
And I think if you keep your eyes open, you can kind of feel it and tell it, can't you? You can kind of tell right away, this is going to be good or this is going to be fraught with friction.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's a pretty interesting time that we live in now, and I think people trying to navigate the waters where we are as a country, as a nation, as a time. Do you think the same rules still apply when it turns into business and people trying to further their life and improve their lives?
I like anybody that if we can be mutually beneficial to each other and respectful and keep our word, I'd be happy to do business with a Martian. I'd be happy to do business with a goldfish or a deep sea creature.
Deep sea creature.
If we could communicate decent and we were useful to one another and kept our word, I'd love to have a new business partner like that.
Well, that thing of respect is a big thing to me too, because I think not enough people respect themselves, let alone others. Like, do you have respect for yourself? Wow. It's deep, man. It's I trip on it because I don't think everyone does. You know what I mean?
A key thing you brought up about authenticity, you know a lot about building brands. You've been around a lot of smart people. You've been around a lot of very talented people. And you're kind of most famous for is this something that can go somewhere? What do you look, I'm going to use the words authenticity. Is this a sincere something that other people would feel bonded to? You might think of it in very different words, but I'm really curious your take on that.
No, authenticity, you hit it on the head. As a boy growing up in lovable southern Louisiana, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, one of the big sayings in the South in Louisiana, they look at you and they see like you're doing stuff, you've made the way, you've accomplished some things, and they'll go, I like what you're doing over there. But they'll say to you, but Derek, is that really you? So what they're really saying is that I see what you're doing and I see it's kind of successful, but that doesn't seem like you. Is that somebody else, or is that authentic to who you are? So authenticity runs deep to me because I really believe the brand has to act, walk, talk, say, do, look exactly like what it says it is. That authenticity is what sells. Friends of mine started a company years ago called Spanx with Kim Kardashian. To see her wearing Spanx work, because you believed it on her. So you have to be able to believe it. And years ago, I was sitting at a table in Jersey at a dinner with Ralph Lauren and Tommy Hilfiger. Not to just drop names or whatever, but I was sitting there with Puffy, Jay-Z, myself, a bunch of others, right? And they got up and they spoke at this dinner and they said, we not only make these brands, we wear them every day. I wouldn't be out perpetrating something that I don't wear. You buy it, but I don't wear it, but you wear it. No, I gotta live, breathe. It's meant to really, really work. And if I can't stand behind it and I can't wear it, why am I trying to sell it to you? Mm-hmm. So authenticity sells in everything, be it music, be it a TV show, be it a movie, be it a brand. I got my Unify Health Labs brand, and I'm gonna send you some. It's all about gut health. Gut health is the new wealth out there. And the eyewear brand, he's rubbing his tummy. He doesn't need it that bad, but everybody needs it. But I'm going to hook Derek up. But, it's about that authenticity. Somebody said to me on a podcast a couple months ago, well, you make this stuff, these vitamins, do you take them? Yeah, that's why I make it,
Yeah.
because it worked for me. As I'm telling you, it could work for you. I mean, I'm not going to just make some stuff and perpetrate like, yeah, they're out there taking, but I don't take the stuff. That would be sacrilegious.
Over lunch, when you told me about your vitamin brand, I know you made a major transformation in your health and your dietary lifestyle. And I immediately, when you said, you're telling me about the vitamin brand, immediately I'm like, yeah, I bet the guy knows a lot about that. You have a lot of credibility making a change like that in your life.
I mean, I've struggled with my weight all my life since I was like out of college. I played sports in college, high school, all this stuff. But, it's finally getting a grip on, there's a thing called behavioral psychology. So it's one of the things I learned on my journey that in order to change something in someone, you have to try and get them to change the way they see it. So behavioral psychology, whether you're trying to stop smoking, eating, drinking, whatever it is, I got to change the way you look at that because you're looking at it not in reality, not in practicality. So if I can do that, I can get you to now treat the thing because the emotional part is the eating and the outcome of just satiating whatever emotion you're going through. Happiness, sadness, depression, whatever level, whatever it is. But if you can get your mind right, you can change your body.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You have to think about that holistically. And I'm curious your take on this. I hear a lot of people talk about, a balanced life, That makes a lot of sense if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s. That makes a lot of sense to me. If you already did something significant,
right.
Maybe you did some extreme things when you're young that led to, the sort of, financial circumstances, social circumstances perhaps you wanted for yourself. So this is a new idea for me, by the way. So I was so focused on education, money, social relationships, of being around other high quality people and making myself useful to other high quality people. I didn't make my diet the priority. I didn't make some other areas of my life the priority. I'd rather work 14 hours a day. I still haven't taken a day off in about 10 years, maybe more than, I think it's more than 10 years.
Wow.
And then I hear somebody who's, in the early 20s, they're sending me a message on social media, work-life balance is what's really important. I'm like, I'd still be dumb and poor when I was 20. If I decided to focus on work-life balance in my 20s instead of my 40s, I'd still be dumb and poor.
Me and you both. I did the same thing. Look, I think you get your grind on till you get your shine on, right? And
I'm stealing that, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's true. And you said it earlier to me. You said, listen, I'm a lot nicer now. I've grown up because now I realize some things I've learned and I've grown and I've accepted and I've made something in my life. But I think you got to go through a lot of stuff before you can get to the other side. It's like my mom would always say, I tell you kids all the time, but you guys just have to go through it yourself. Yeah, I guess I do. You know what I mean? Because, you can tell any young person, do this, don't do that. There's so many self-help books, so many things that can help people, but they still need to somehow make the mistakes. Because, you get burned and you go, you know what? Derek was right. I ain't doing that again.
I think what you said about choice is, are you choosing that underline a billion times, or 18 trillion times, or whatnot? Did they make a choice in their life that they're going to live that way? That's a new lifestyle. It's not something they're trying on for the week. It's you want to live your life a certain way.
Well, no, I often say to people say, well, look, God, I've done this wrong. My life is this. I hate that. I hate this. I hate that in my life. All these excuses, all these problems, all these issues. And I go, listen, as my dad would say to me, who made that choice? Wait a minute. I guess I made that choice. Dad go, see? I bet you will make that choice again. Present it with the next group of doors, you're going to maybe choose a different door. Hopefully. You know what I mean? Because if you don't like where you are in your life, consult your choices. Who made those choices? I don't like who I'm dating. I don't like where I live. I don't like my job. I don't like this. I don't like that. How are you going to change it?
I talk about this with clients that, your current circumstances are a reflection of your past choices, and your future circumstances.
Speak on it, Derek. Speak on it, brother.
Your future circumstances are going to be predicated on the choices you're making today. If you don't want to engage in different behaviors, how would you have different outcomes? So you touched on that of behavioral psychology. How would a person continue to engage in the same behaviors and reasonably expect they're supposed to have significantly better outcomes? How would that happen?
Well, what is that thing of insanity, the definition?
Albert
I
Einstein.
keep doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. I must be insane because it hurt every time I did it. And I got worse off and worse off every time I did it. So, like, why are you doing it? I mean, it just, and sometimes it's probably out of habit, but mostly here comes the behavioral psychology again. Is it habit? Is it fear of some kind? Is it emotional fear? Is it like fear of accepting that that's who you are and that's what you like? But I don't want to like that. Yeah, but you do. I mean, you keep doing it. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that's what I love about the rock and roll music game. The real stars give zero cares about anything or anybody in the world. This is what I do. This is what I'm going to do. I'm doing it. I don't care what they say. I don't care, it could be Zeppelin, it could be Hendrix, it could be Madonna, it could be Gaga, it could be Kanye, it could be any, whatever you like. It could be Ozzy. This is what I'm doing. I'm not asking you your permission for what I want to do.
They didn't need to use a focus group first?
Exactly. Well, I need a group to focus on me and tell me, no, don't do that, go left, go right. You know what I mean?
A question I was curious about that I think you're really uniquely positioned to answer, that you've been around a lot of characters over the years.
A lot of characters? I love the way you put that, bro. It is so true.
I mean it very respectfully, but you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of different personalities and a lot of people that are, just as you just described, are, strong-minded people that they're going to do what they're going to do. And you spend a lot of time around a lot of different personalities like that. And I think something that I'm curious to hear about, and I think would be beneficial for the audience, is, how do you navigate the social nuances of dealing with those sort of people, and also be mindful of making the best use of your own time. You've been a master at that, or you wouldn't be you if you hadn't done those things. I know there's a piece of wisdom there that I'm about to learn something, and others are too.
Well, you gotta look at it for what it really is. And you got to think that everybody in this world deserves their space. And these characters, I'm thinking back, not that I'm just name dropping, but I've been very fortunate. I'm thinking back to Keith Richards, thinking back to Aretha Franklin, thinking back to all of these people. They all have their thing. And you're all in, I am Dylan, all in awe of these people, because what they've achieved, many will never get to see and achieve. But how they achieved it was always of interest to me. What was that? How did you get there? What did you go through, and how did you deal with each hurdle, each circumstance? How did you treat it? How did you look at it? So what I would do, I would look at that person's life and I would study their life. Not so much the outcome, but what they must have gone through. Like John Coltrane, like, B.B. King, like a Howlin' Wolf, like Chuck Berry, like the Beatles, like Stones, like, how did you navigate through that? What did you do? Because all the things that could have affected you and derailed you, how did you deal it? So what for me it is being that sponge, trying to learn and glean any part of the wisdom that I could from being around those characters. Because I would say to myself, God, I'm fortunate enough to be in this room. What do I learn and take away from this room and these people? Because they know something that I definitely do not know. So, and what they've done, I don't know if I'll ever see that, but I can learn something from being in a room with Elton, being in the room with Springsteen, being in the room with just these legends, being in the room with the Journey Boys, still in the room with them. We're making a new Journey record coming out next year, big tour. But learning from these people that I so admired, like, look, I'm sitting here with you today. I'm learning from you. I'm learning your mind. I'm learning your vibe. I'm learning what you do. I'm I'm shocked that we've never met, but the timing is perfect now because we joined forces just sitting for 5 minutes on so many different levels. There's a saying in life, there's the people that know and the people that don't know. So if you encounter the people that know people, Derek knows, you followed those people. So, I'm always looking and being open to learn, you know what I mean?
He says so many wise things in there. That I love learning from other people. My personality is very simple. My moods are very stable, and I'm always equally grumpy and cheery at the same time. So I'm always
Dude,
very stable that way.
Me and you both, grumpy and cheery. Here's the grumpy and cheery at the same time.
You told me a story earlier at lunch that some wisdom that you collected from Mr. Warren Buffett, and anything you share in that realm, I'd love it. A conversation we got off of. I really admire his friend and business partner Charlie Munger.
Yeah.
Charlie in January is going to turn 98 years old.
Yeah.
98 years old. And Charlie said, my favorite quote from Charlie, so the best way to get what you want in life is to deserve it. Is how would the world be so insane to go around highly rewarding a bunch of undeserved people? And that really helped me banish, maybe 15 years ago I heard that, and I was doing pretty well, but that just got rid of the little immature thought in your head of somebody's going to put you on or somebody's going to do something for you. I just no, I'm just going to take care of everything myself, and let me just go let me go earn the outcomes that I want for myself,
Well, I would say that to my kids all the time. Listen, I want you to do something that you're passionate about, that you really absolutely want to do, because you will be better at that than you'll be at anything, because you're going to be loving what you do and it won't seem like a job. Mm-hmm. Because if you got to slug it out and it feels like a job every day, you're not going to be happy, not going to give you all, you're not going to do your best. So, it's a very different experience, but I agree with that. I think you got to be passionate about what you do. I think you got to love what you do, because the people that I know that are successful, they wouldn't do anything else. I'll never forget the first time I met Prince. I said to myself, this guy wouldn't be doing anything else. This is what he wants to do. Mick Jagger. This is who he is, what he is. He is the epitome of a rock star. My buddy Steven Tyler, epitome of a rock star. All he ever wanted to be was a rock star, and he certainly is, and he lives life to the fullest.
I met Prince years ago in Minneapolis. He was from Minnesota.
Yeah.
I met him years ago in Minneapolis, and we chatted for 90 seconds. But I really enjoyed his music, and still respect his music and enjoy the music he made. He's a special sort of person.
Amazing guy, amazingly talented, just a true gift. But really live that to the fullest. You go through your life, and it's funny that we get to this point that I'm tired. Dude, I live in this town. All day, yeah. We're having meetings, Zoom calls, all this stuff, just weeding through the nonsense. Yeah. At the end of the day, is there anybody real left? You know what I'm saying?
I just like to talk about reality. I just don't think you can engage in a lot of delusion and think that you're going to have spectacular outcomes. So I just try to be honest with myself of what are the things I'm doing right? What are the assets and liabilities on my balance sheet? Meaning, what are the stuff that's good, that's beneficial? What's the dumbass shit that I've been doing and maybe I keep doing that I need to offload a few of those liabilities? Right. Need to get out of my own way, offload a couple of those liabilities and pay the price. The last 30 pounds is one of those type of things in my life. And then focus on the assets of how do I grow these even more? Who do I have to help? As soon as I think about when I have. I'm not such an altruistic person,
Right.
But I'm a very fair person. When I have one of those thoughts of I'd like to have this, or I want one of those, about 3 seconds later, I'm thinking who would I have to help in the world that would help me get one of those, somewhere down the line, it would bring me closer to getting whatever it is, whatever it is. And my brain focused, 85% on that. What would I have to do for others that they'd be delighted to do whatever I might want them to do for me,
Well, it's funny as you talk about this right now, I'm thinking of a guy named Clarence Gatemouth Brown, an old blues man from Orange, Texas, that I had the pleasure of working with for a couple years. When I was 16, I was a kid growing up in Louisiana, an old blues guy, brilliant. We did a bunch of tours with Charlie Daniels and Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings and Kinky Friedman and all these kind of guys in the South playing all these chili cook-offs and these rodeos. He said to me one day, there's a couple things that this guy said to me, this always sticks out in my head. He said to me, you know, man, this was forever ago. You young kids, one of these days, you're going to learn to want what you need as opposed to needing what you want. So I caution people all the time at what you want, because what you want changes every day. Today I want sushi, tonight I want pasta, tomorrow I want Indian food, then I want Thai food. I wear a black shirt, a blue shirt, a green one, a yellow one. I buy the black car, but I should have bought the white one 3 months later. So the want thing fluctuates. The want thing is that fantasy fulfillment. But the need, what do I need? I need love. I need understanding. I need acceptance. I need to accept myself. I need to understand myself. I need to forgive myself, not beat myself up. What do I need? Are you fulfilling your life with what you need? Because most people, that's one of the issues with social media that I have. It's about want.
Mm-hmm.
I want one of those. I want this car. I want that jacket. I want this. I want. But as you said earlier, what have I done to deserve this?
Mm-hmm.
So we're now cutting back to that again. Have I earned this? Have I earned the right? Do I need this? Because whatever you buy, I'll guarantee you in a week or 2 weeks or a month or 3, 4 months, you're going to wish you bought another color or a different one. That want thing fades, right? It's just a funny kind of paradox I find. You know, I was just thinking about that as you were talking, because it just reminded me of one of those pivotal sayings that he said to me. And as a kid at 16, I didn't understand what the hell he was talking about. Of course I want what I want. What's this old man talking about?
My father had a plaque on his desk when I was a kid. It said, money may not buy happiness, but it can certainly make misery a lot more enjoyable. and that always stuck in my head. I thought it was humorous, but that always stuck in my head. And like, you know, and I agree with everything you said. There's nothing there to, it's just facts, you know. But I had that in my head. It's like, you know, well, money ain't going to make you happy. You know, getting more stuff isn't going to make you, you know, happy. It does to a place, you know.
Right.
But you got to be happy with yourself. Or, you know, I'll pivot back to what we talked about earlier of living your life authentically. I wouldn't be happy if I had to show up to a job. I wouldn't be happy if I couldn't express myself the way that I want to, and, you know, speak sincerely from my heart.
Right.
I don't want to spend time around people that I can't be myself in front of. But I don't care if I got paid a lot of money for it. I got enough money. I'll go find some more. I'll go find some other money.
Right.
So I don't want to be around somebody that I don't sincerely enjoy spending time with that person, and I like and respect who they are, and, you know, we have a mutual oomph together, if you will, you know?
Well, that honesty, that compassion, that humility, that acceptance, that respect, the sincerity. I mean, you know, sincerity just can't be replaced.
What would you say to somebody that maybe catches this interview and, you know, they get bombarded with a lot of things online? They're supposed to want to be everything to everybody and have everything and always be liked and so on. Like, if a person has those thoughts in their head, how do you think that future is going to turn out for them?
I think it's going to be rough because, look, a part of what we do, a part of what entertainment does, movies, TV, commercials, products, whatever. I try not to do this at all in my products, my eyewear or the Unify Health Lab stuff, because it's basically people saying, here, Derek, you like this. Derek's going, yeah, maybe I do. Then something in the back of his head goes, I don't like that. They don't even know me. So the farthest thing from my mind. But they're telling you all day, all night, subliminally, this is what you like. This is more the reason you have to be willing to find out through self-discovery who you are and accept it. So that way you're always authentic to yourself.
You know, let's give them examples of that. So, you know, you mentioned your eyewear. who is your eyewear for? Who is the target market? Who's the customer that knows it, loves it? They're going to be a repeat customer. Who is that for?
The eyewear for me, as well as the vitamins, was me trying to simplify my life. I wear glasses, half blind, needed to wear glasses since I was in 10th grade, wore contacts, love glasses, wear glasses all the time, got a pretty large head. I needed longer temples. I needed to be fashionable because, we always got to be fly, Derek. At all costs, we got to be fly, people. We're going to be smart, but we can be smart and fly. So, you know what I mean? So I needed stuff that would fit my face, that would work for me. I needed vitamins because I was the guy at home. 50 bottles on my countertop, taking 2 or 3 of these. Maybe if they say 200 billion probiotics work, what if I take 400 billion or a trillion? So I was trying to take the guesswork and simplify with natural ingredients and products that were going to help people. Trying to simplify the eyewear. So somebody that wants a great fit, great fashionable thing, because most guys don't really shop well. Most guys are not the shoppers. So, me being sort of that quasi rock star guy, I love shopping.
I love shopping.
That's me and Derek with this rock star thing. See, I even like the boots. So, it's like, but most guys don't. So I was trying to take the guesswork out of it for them. If you buy these frames, these are cool. They're going to look fly on you if you got this kind of face, whatever. You take these vitamins, you get your gut health together because every disease starts in the gut, everything that happens. So get your gut health together first. You do that, you're on your road to health.
I take about 20 vitamins a day. I take all sorts of things. Maybe we'll chat about that off camera, but
Yeah.
I want to check out your vitamin line. And
I'm going to hook you up, man. I got to hook you up.
And when I think about, the way, I don't think I'm a good salesperson at all. I think I'm a good marketer. I don't think I'm a good salesperson. So the way I think about it, I'm curious how you think about it. But the way I think about that element of business is, when I focus, I'm good at explaining a program or a product. Why did I create this program? Who is it for?
Right.
My clients, I don't have average clients. I have people that are above average in education, above average in work ethic, and they already did something tough. I don't really want somebody who say, oh, you never did anything tough in your life and you think you're going to go through a 200-hour mentoring course with me and work 20-some hours a week, and probably they're not.
We don't want the entitled
We're setting them
people
up for failure.
Yeah.
I don't want them to fail, and I don't want my name or reputation associated with their fail. They can fail all by themselves. They don't need my help with that. But if I found somebody that, they already had a great work ethic, they already did something in their life that, maybe they just went to college, maybe it was a military person, maybe they were an entrepreneur, or still are an entrepreneur. Maybe they did, maybe they were a good musician or artist of some kind. So I have a lot of people with a lot of different backgrounds. I'd say that's the common theme, is like above average education, above average ambition, and they're already good at something, and they want to learn about entrepreneurship or real estate or investments from me. And then people ask me, the mental illness of them wanting other people to do stuff for them is so deep. They want me to manage their money. So I'm not managing anybody's money.
Yeah.
I don't want to run a hedge fund. I don't want to be a money manager. I just want to help people make an informed decision that be an adult, go grow more resources through your entrepreneurship, and learn to invest that in a way that you can have a very stable and financially abundant future.
It's funny that you say that because it reminds me when I was doing A&R, musician in bands touring forever, the Journey Boys, every tour that I've ever been on with any bands. And I remember I came off the road, I was trying to get my life together. I was going through a divorce, I became an A&R guy at Columbia Records for like 10 years, then an A&R guy at MCA Universal. During that time, you could have never told me that I was going to be a kid on TV on a TV show that would become the biggest reality show in the history of television. There's nothing that prepared me for that. I just went at it on a whim because I was getting really bored doing A&R, because A&R is an interesting job that everybody wants to do, but you kind of play God between the artists and the people. You're saying your job is saying to the people, here, you like this, and people go, I don't like that. So it doesn't work, it doesn't sell. So you got egg on your face, but you made that choice. So I never thought this TV show was going to work. In fact, I thought music shows on TV were corny as hell. A lot of them still are corny as hell. So, Dylan would have never been discovered on a TV show. Not that he's the only one. Radiohead would have never been discovered. Kanye, none of that would have been discovered on a TV show, right? So, but the funny thing is that keeping my mind open to the possibilities and the opportunities, lo and behold, look at what happened. So in that moment, I became an instant entrepreneur. So whenever I'm speaking to people now, I say, listen, I know music's your game. I know acting's your game. I know entertainment's your game. I know insurance is your game, banking, whatever it is. Make sure you're open to the possibilities because you just never know. Today, I tell people all the time, get at least 3 hustles, not one. Because the one that you least think is going to work, Derek, that may be the one over there in the corner. You just kind of piddled around with, took for granted, that you weren't so focused on it had to happen. You weren't snuffing the life of it with your wants. Aha.
The average millionaire has 7 sources of income that got them that $1 million. And $1 million don't buy what it used to.
No.
$1 million, you know, what kind of home can you buy in Manhattan with $1 million?
Yeah.
Or San Francisco?
Yeah. Way outside the city, an hour away.
You could buy a really nice parking spot in Hong Kong for $1 million.
Right.
You could buy a really nice parking spot over there for about $1 million.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, I mean, I say that to the clients as well. It's like, the type of people that work with me is somebody who has, they're a current or future millionaire. That they already have a good foundation like that, or they're making. I got some clients that are 18 years old, but they're serious, motivated. You've seen some young hustlers in your life that you've seen them and you talk to them for 2 minutes and you're like, this person's going to go do something with themselves. It might not be what they think it is, but they're going to be somebody.
You can feel it, can't you?
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. That I say, you got to have at least 3 income streams, and 2 is too close to 1, and 1 is too close to none. You got to have at least what you said about have at least
Speak
3
on
hustles.
it.
That's why I got
Derek's
so
dropping the
excited when you
science,
said
people.
that. That's why I got so excited when you said that, because I say that all the time. You got to have at least 3 income sources.
Yeah.
I like to make money from real estate. I like to make money from stock market, and I like to run my little small business and just have the right. I don't want to work with everybody. I want to work with just those few people, a couple hundred, few hundred people a year.
All right, so listen. Me and my dear friend Archie want to become billionaires. How do we do it?
It'll just be an overnight success. If you work really hard for about 4 decades, it'll just magically happen overnight.
For about 14 decades.
I had this chat with a friend of mine. His name is Michael Chandler, and he was a champion at Bellator, and then he fights in the UFC right now.
I love UFC.
He's a tough man. He's a very smart guy too. And Michael and I had a chat about that, the overnight success concept that he was telling me that, he's like, well, I've been an athlete every day for the last 20 years and worked my ass off in numerous ways. Spent, 13 years as a professional fighter, as a multi-time champion in his endeavors. And, then people see the product 20 years later and they think it just magically happened overnight. And I said, for me to have my current financial situation, it just took me 35 years,
Exactly.
I just had to focus on it for 35 years, that's all.
It took me 40 years of becoming overnight success.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. But that's what I'm saying. People are looking at the outcome. They're not looking at the struggle to get there. But that's part of where we are now, because I think people see all of this wealth out there and they think, oh, let me just do that. That's not it. You don't just do something and just, I'm waiting on it to come. That's that sort of entitlement that's like a dangerous place to be if you're really trying to honestly, authentically do something.
In any entrepreneurial endeavor, or any major brand name that you respect, it takes a decade or more to really build that, to have a durable long. Even some of the performers or some of the musicians you mentioned, did the Rolling Stones become the Rolling Stones overnight? They're the Rolling Stones. Everybody in the world knows who they are because they've been doing their thing for half a century. Longer.
Nobody ever looks at the 4 or 5 years it took the Beatles to make $100 a night, playing all of these terrible bars, dive bars. No one sees the struggle. No one wants to remember the struggle. They just remember the heyday, them playing Shea Stadium. No, what was going on before that? What was the grind to get there? You know, that's why the Drake lyric is so brilliant. Started from the bottom, now I'm here. Did you hear what he said? Say, I started from the bottom. Started from the bottom of the barrel. I had to work my way up. It may have taken me forever, but at least now I'm here. But don't forget the journey to get there.
Nobody knew Warren Buffett until he was in his 60s.
Is
Nobody
that
who
crazy?
knew. Yeah, think about that. And Warren Buffett, he was a millionaire back when $1 million was a lot of money. He was a
Right.
millionaire in his 30s, and he just had to be doing his thing, grinding away, doing his thing, being Warren Buffett, reading his financial statements alone like a good nerd, like a good business
Right,
person
right,
does.
right.
I say that respectfully, 'cause I too sit around late at night reading financial statements like a nerd. I do this myself. And if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have some of the outcomes I did. And if Warren didn't do that, he wouldn't either. And
Knowledge is power.
it takes that time to compound your, to be a master of your craft and compound the knowledge, those intellectual gains and the financial gains. It takes time. And maybe we'll finish with that thought is, what would you say to somebody who's out here trying to be an overnight success or trying to do something without putting in the foundational work? Is that how you become the success that you are? Or
No,
have you
what's
seen
that?
a lot of other people do that in life?
Yeah, exactly. What's that phrase? The harder I work, the luckier I become. So be a student of all of the games and all of the hustles you're trying to get going. Really learn. That's why you're up at night reading the financial. This is be a student. Learn everything you can. And I'll cut back to where we started. As Derek would say, learn something every day. Learn 3 or 4 things every day. What can I take away from my experiences, my meetings, my whatever, my thoughts of the day at night? What can I build into my tomorrow? How can I go into tomorrow smarter, better equipped? What do I need to learn? What do I need to conquer? The struggle is never over. So to me, you got to continue to evolve, continue to grow, continue to grind.
The slogan on my coin right here says, choose to conquer. You use both of those words. You talked about choice, and you just said, what can you conquer? And that's what this stands for, choose to conquer. That is a lifestyle choice. That if you're in a first world country, being a millionaire is a lifestyle choice.
And look at this, Derek. You and I didn't even know each other. I knew who you were. You probably had some glimpse of who I was.
Everybody knows Randy Jackson.
I don't know about that. Well, we're sitting down today and like, yo, we got that brotherhood. I mean, we connect on so many things. It goes back to there's people that know and people that don't know. Be part of the people that know. Use the knowledge. The knowledge is power.
You've been a mentor, last thought. You've been a mentor to a lot of people. You helped a lot of people advance their career one way or another. And sometimes just a couple words of wisdom here or there. Sometimes probably people you never met, you inspired them to be somebody and do better. Because you've been doing what you've been doing for so long and so well that, have you seen a lot of people that are tremendously successful that didn't have a great coach, a good mentor, I haven't seen that anywhere.
I haven't seen it anywhere either. And look, for me, it's a paying it forward because a lot of guys, a lot of people help me. I say this all the time and I don't say it because it's some corny phrase, it's just the truth. There's no I in success. It's always a team effort. So many people helped me that didn't have to. I mean, it's just the way it is. And I'm so blessed and fortunate to have had that. So for me, I want to pay it forward too, because even in helping somebody, I can learn something else. I may glean some wisdom or I may remind myself of a lesson that I forgot. They go, I'm telling them this. I should be listening to this myself again. Mm-hmm. I needed to hear this again.
I've done
me
that.
Saying it to you has reminded me that let me check in with me for a second here and remind myself.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. I'm going to check out your probiotics and your other vitamin lines. Your new show, when's it start?
Name That Tune comes on March on Fox TV. Name That Tune, Season 2.
Season 2 is already popular. You got to check it out. Randy's popular for a reason.
Appreciate
Thanks
you,
so
brother.
much. Respect.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you for making time.
I find Derek to be a long-term thinker, and I am really experiencing that for myself, given it 1 year later after I took my first program with him. Now I am an observer in the mentorship program once again, and I find that I'm still, even though I went through the program, I'm still catching myself thinking some illogical fallacies, and in being around a person who can set an example of what it is to truly be a long-term, consistent, and passionate hard worker. It's a personal treat to be able to invest into a ecosystem of people who are ambitious, industrious individuals, and being around that every single week is, to me, almost priceless. And it's great to be around people that can set an example for me, and to be inspired to discover what my true potential is.
Thanks for watching. Success is not for everybody, and it may not be for you. If you are or are on your way to be a millionaire or multimillionaire, probably going to want to spend time with my clients. Probably going to want to have a personal relationship with me so we can accelerate that process, get you living up to your maximum potential, earning your maximum wage. You're going to want to click that follow button. You're going to want to click that bell and get notifications. Tune in every Friday. Tune in every Monday. You're going to love what you see. I look forward to having you as a client in the future.